kept going and going, and when you're in it, you don't know what the pattern is. When you fly over it and take pictures or look down, then you see what the pattern is. So as I was in it, I'm just kind of like this lost pioneer with goosebumps everywhere, and my eyes are tearing because it's such an incredible gift to be in these formations. And every ounce of your being does light up, and you can just deny it all you want and keep yourself numb if you choose, but there's something going on that is not of this world. It is not normal. And if it is, perhaps, you know, some people say that the military is shooting down these lasers that they're practicing for who knows what, and I don't know. I don't know what it is, but something is changing the energy in the fields. So I use a pendulum on a regular basis to communicate with the higher sources. That's how I register what I feel is going on. And the few times I've looked over and seen another, typically woman with a pendulum, we compare notes, and it's typically identical, and it's happened a number of times. Then there's people with the dowsing sticks, and they check the energy as they go in. And from walking in the tram line, the tractor tire lines, into the formation, as soon as you get in, boom, they separate, and they stay open. It's a different energy. And then my friend Barbara Lamb, she brings in her magnetometers, and these are machines that measure the electromagnetic field. And it just rages, it goes up. And then there's the little lady who buries her little water testing vials into the ground and then comes back a few days later and digs them up and tests the water samples. And there is a change in whatever it is that you can test in water. I'm not a scientist, I don't know, but I know that all the people that have tested the wheat biologically, there is a change in the energetic structure of the wheat. So something's hitting it really fast and hard. And my favorite proof, in my opinion, again, it's proof to me, was the footage that I use at the end of my Wake Up Call Anybody Listening movie. The only real documented footage, it was done by John Whaley in, I think, the 1990s. And he was one of the very few humans that was sitting on the side of a hill like we did every night, night after night after night, waiting for the balls of light to show up. You got your camera around your neck, and many people have said, I had my camera around my neck, this thing showed up, it's right there in front of me, I'm blown away, and it's right there in front of me, and oh my God, it's so incredible. And then when it was gone, I realized I have my camera here. I totally forgot, because you're so in the moment. So this guy, John Whaley, actually hit play. Whoa, you see two balls of light go across a wheat field because he felt it's this buzz in the field, there's a vibration in the wheat, and everybody describes the same sound. It's this kind of like a whistling of the wheat, but it all starts to, it's something, again, very undeniably something that nobody's ever heard before. But not only does this sound come, but the din of sounds that were in the field, the mosquitoes, the crickets, the wind, the birds, disappears. And all of a sudden it's this complete silence when these people that I've talked to are in the presence of this ball of light. So this guy hits play, and he's got on film a flat field, and all of a sudden two balls of light come in from different directions. And the field goes down in a heartbeat, and they go continuing on, and then a third ball comes, checks the field, and flies away. Okay, how many millions of people? Have you seen the footage?
I have seen that.
Okay, so here I am.
It's stunning.
It's stunning. So I show it.
Because you see there's no crop circle, and then you see the balls of light zipping around, and then there's a crop circle there.
And it happens in an instant.
It's an amazing piece of footage.
So here I am. My first year, I've met all the great researchers, and I've interviewed most of them inside a crop circle, and I've hired a film crew because I had no idea I was really going to grow up to maybe be a filmmaker for a while, let alone run my own camera, which I had no idea. So I hired a film crew because I, with my small little Canon Power Shot, had shot over 1,100 photos that were each one fabulous. I have light beings over Silbury Hill at 5 in the morning. This little cheap camera is shooting all these incredible pictures. And so I'm thinking, my God, so I go to the symposium, I meet all the amazing speakers, and I just handpicked the ones I loved, and I hired the film crew. So I make the movie of my first one, and I come home with it, and I hire a totally beautiful, homeschooled, 26-year-old editor with no attitude, no ego. He sits down with me, we roll out this movie, and it's so beautiful. And then I get to the end, and I said, okay, run the John Whaley footage, and then I'm going to do a voiceover and say, pretty amazing, huh? Want to see it again? Then we run it again. And because the way the human brain runs, I said, we're going to run it a third time because people are going to... So then my voiceover says something like, don't believe it, do you? Okay, one more time. Boom. So I'm sitting here with my editor. I'm not really experienced at all. And I said, Johnny, I don't know why, but slow the footage down and back it up for me. He said, why? I said, I told you, I don't know why.
Don't know why.
Slow the footage down and back it up. So we're looking at this John Whaley footage, and son of a gun, stop. Right there between the two balls of light is a straight line of communication with this pattern in it. I don't know if it's binary or digital or some kind of, computer messaging, but it is right there on the frame. Now, all these millions of people, far more brilliant and experienced than myself, have looked at this footage. How did nobody do what I did? So now my movie ends, which, it did all the time, not just with the 3 times of seeing this amazing footage, but then I reversed the film and I said, don't know how I found it, but here's a gift for you. So I run it backwards and stopped the frame, and there it is. These 2 balls of light, right before the field went down, they communicated. And it's right there in your face, in my face. So I show that 3 times, and I think the last thing I said was debunk that.
Wonderful. Gee, that's exciting.
And again, I think it's good not to know anything because it's allowed me to be fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You've got clear, you have virgin eyes.
Yes.
And so many people today are saying that we're living in a quantum reality and that this is a, hyperdimensional universe in a holographic formation. So we're having to start thinking differently about our reality because it's changing on every front, from science to spiritual sources to just what's happening right in front of us, as you said.
Yes. So how great is it to realize today, Lance, that you now see plasma? And when we hang up from this interview, you should go outside and go see what's out there. And all of you people listening, you should go outside and see what's out there because quantum physics, parallel realities, call it what you want, but it looks as clear as a tree.
Yeah.
I mean, plasma, which we have solids, liquids, gas, plasma, light. We now have the ability with our own beingness to see these other realms. And so the more we can slow down from our busy lives and distracted field of energy and consciousness and take ourselves, and I don't say sit and meditate for hours, I say go out in nature and seriously be. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, most people are pretty familiar with the idea that we have a third eye and at least 2 higher senses above the 5 that we know of. And so those senses are being triggered when we balance the left and right sides of our brains. It's like a light switch goes on. Mm-hmm. And, the right intuitive side balances out, if we allow it, the analytical and more masculine side on the left. And so, the more we can balance ourselves internally and remain in a neutral zone, all of these things just start to manifest. It's like stepping on the gas. So we can do that on our own evolutionary scale. We can step on the gas, and if it's a little too fast, well, you stop on the brake for a few minutes, and especially before you hit the train. And it's all in divine order and timing, and synchronicity kind of lights the way.
Yes. So even when the train hits the car, if we can look at it in that moment and say, this is perfect divine order, what can I get from this so I don't have to die right now?
Yes.
Then we don't have to die right now.
Right. Right.
That if we say, oh, God, I'm dying, and we go into all that, then we're gonna.
Right,
so
right.
We better watch everything that goes through our mind anymore. And it's not an easy time.
No, not at all.
But, the more we can carry on with people in a higher vibration and with more integrity, and when we see that, oops, we've made a mistake, and step out of it, and almost, I find that I don't even need to lecture people anymore when it's obvious they're not in integrity. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be. They just don't want to be. So why hang? I'm going to take myself out. And that's the zero tolerance now. And I think that the less we fight with them, the less they're going to need a fight.
Yes.
And the less we fight with anything, the greater our days are going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I see this on television, I do watch on television, and everything is geared to fight. Fight this, fight that, fight plaque, fight cancer, fight wars. We are being brainwashed to fight everything, and when in actuality everything is in harmony. All you have to do is just align with what is.
Yes.
There is nothing to fight, and we think we're fighting an enemy. There are no enemies. We are our own worst enemies.
Right.
And these are just timeless things that people have been saying for thousands of years, and then they die, and then people make shrines to them, and then they turn their work into something different, a new form of control over the masses. So, we just have to start learning to think for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we also have to get the children to be wising up. The new movie I'm working on is actually stars a Jack Russell dog. My new movie. Yeah, Bindi Bowser.
You should have mine in this. She is such a star. Everybody would fall in love with her. She is just magnificent.
Well, the movie is going to be so charming that maybe I'll have to get a series out of it, and then I'll need your dog. So good to know there's an extra one.
You can come up to my ranch and film anytime.
Aw. Well, the dog that narrates the movie, which is called The Fairy Kingdom in the New Paradigm, is a telepathic dog that has a bindi on her third eye.
Oh, my goodness.
So I named her Bindi Bowser because she's got this big red bindi jewel. And this is for children. And the movie is, I've been filming wildlife all summer because I live in the Rocky Mountains. And I'm fearless. I hand-feed foxes, I hand-feed elk and deer and everybody. I even got a ticket for it, I'm proud to say. Division of Wildlife came and arrested me. I mean, you can't even in your own house in the woods have furry friends. Please.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Don't even start me. But anyway.
Yeah, I know. We can
don't tell anybody, but I have furry friends.